Charles Lindbergh was presented with a Medal of Honor for his transatlantic flight. An airship crashes at the North Pole. Amelia Earhart becomes the first woman to make a transatlantic flight. The year is 1928, and this was the second year for Cadillac's companion make LaSalle. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that takes the time to cover the classics, vintage, some exotics. We love the orphan cars and car brands that just don't exist anymore. We talk history, specs, and design of these rolling works of art. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1928 LaSalle is currently for sale at Classic Automall Morgantown Pennsylvania with over 870 cars for sale when recording this episode. They ship all over the world. For more information, pricing, and pictures pertaining to this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. Real quick, before getting into this one, Greenfield Village up in Detroit is having a pre-war show Saturday, September 9th and Sunday, September 10th. I will be there Saturday, September 9th. So if you go there and we run into each other, be sure to say hi because you know what I look like. I have no idea what you look like. And it would be totally cool to see you there. The really cool thing about this show is everything is going to be before 1932. And from what I'm told, they drive the cars through the streets. Canton Car Museum is taking their 1904 St. Louis. It's going to be an epic show, and I hope to see you out there. For those that never heard of GM's companion make program, GM in the late 20s gave companion makes to all of their brands except for Chevy. Oakland got Pontiac. Pontiac was the junior brand to Oakland. Oldsmobile got Viking. Oldsmobile was the junior series to Viking. Buick, Marquette. Marquette was the junior to Buick, and LaSalle was Cadillac's junior model. LaSalle was Cadillac's companion make from 1927 to 1940. GM's companionship make program was launched at a terrible time because the stock market crashed in 1929, and GM couldn't afford to keep making all of those makes. Marquette only lasted 1 year, 1929. Viking lasted 1929 to 1931. Oakland switched with Pontiac and Oakland ended in 1931. Pontiac lasted until 2010. But getting back to the LaSalle, LaSalle was offered in 3 generations. 1928 falls in the first generation, which had a production run from 1927 to 1933, built on the GM B-body platform, designed by Duke Harley Earl and his team. The 1928 LaSalle was offered in 2 wheelbase offerings. 125-inch wheelbase, which Fisher bodied the cars that rode that wheelbase, and 134 inches, which the coach work was done by Fleetwood on those cars. 1928 was more or less a carryover design, which started in 1927, but there was some new features. Shock absorbers were changed to Lovejoy hydraulics. Shock absorbers and clutch was changed to twin discs. 16-inch drums were added to the front. So let's talk specs. 185 inches long. It rides a wheelbase of 125 inches. It weighs 3,770 pounds. Price, $2,485, which is equivalent to you spending $44,423.52 in the year 2023. Total 1928 LaSalle production was 14,806 units. Moving on to engine, only 1 engine on offer, 303 cubic inch displacement, 90-degree V8 flathead, 5 liters. It was good for anywhere between 75 to 80 horsepower, 2,700 RPM, 155 pound-feet of torque at 1,800 RPM, which is an estimate. Bore of 3.1 inches and a stroke of 4.9 inches. Compression 4.8 to 1. Featured 3 main bearings. It is backed with a 3-speed manual transmission. Let's talk chassis. Brakes. Uses 4-wheel mechanical drum brakes, meaning these brakes are not hydraulic. 16-inch drums in the front, 14-inch drums in the rear. The transmission is a 3-speed manual transmission. Clutch, twin disc. Frame. This car uses a body-on-frame construction.
Let's talk styling. Starting with these bumpers, notice they're two different pieces joined together. Look at all of the bracking, how it's connected. I love that you could see all of this. Look at how the fenders mount to these. Also, check out the headlights. Headlights are absolutely huge. Here's my hand for reference. And they're connected on this pedestal as well as this bar. They're also connected to each other with this bar that says LaSalle. Look at that hood ornament. Isn't that crazy? The headlights also have a center line. Almost looks like a spine or a fin. There's a horn here. Only one horn. Look at this pinstriping. Also a center line on the fender, but it doesn't go the whole way back. It stops right there. Those beautiful wire wheels. This car does have side mounts with a mirror attached, as well as cowl lights or accessory lights. Just look at the shape of this hood. Has this nice bright center line going down towards the human holding his hat out. I can't tell if that's a guy or a girl. Look at how this comes up. This thing has two dual cowls for driver and passenger. Look at all the textures going on with the windshield. Also notice how the windshield is angled back. I love the two-tone colors here. The darker blue and the lighter blue with the black contrast. The running boards are pretty wide. Here's my foot for reference. I wear a size 12 shoe. And this one doesn't look like it tapers. It looks like it's about the same size. The rear wheel well, it doesn't flare. It does have a bead that goes around it with a pinstripe on the edge of the bead, and then the back part of it kicks out. The rear bumpers are half bumpers, corner bumpers. And it's got this trunk on the back and only one brake light. No brake lights on this side. Check this spotlight out. That's really cool. Here's my hand for reference. And just look, it's mounted here, it's mounted here, and it's mounted on the bottom. So it's not going anywhere. Before getting inside, look at these door handles. Look at how they're designed. Also notice there are no windows. This car probably has curtains if you drove it whenever it rained. This is the door handle to get out. That is so cool. So different. This feels like a really nice leather. There isn't an armrest on the door panel itself, but there is this nice map pocket, deep map pocket. Look how big that is. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, clutch brake, gas pedal, which looks like a spoon starter. Just take a look at this interior. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here is what first person over the hood looks like. Underneath the steering wheel, there is tons of room. Getting in this car isn't the easiest thing to do. That is the space to get in, but down here it's even worse. So trying to get my big feet past that, it's pretty hard.
On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Advance and retard for the spark. Heat, on and off. There is a toggle switch in the middle of those two, and I think that is for the panel lights. The controls on the steering wheel, I think they are for the lights, the low beam and the high beam. If I'm wrong, in the comment section below. Speedometer with odometer and tripometer inside of it. Coolant temperature gauge at the top, flanked by dashboard lights, oil pressure, gasoline gauge. This pullout is either for the choke or for the hand throttle. Amp meter, key, and clock.
Up above, there are no sun visors. Windshield wipers are mounted at the top. The windshield can go completely flat. Not going to do that because you have to take the top off to do that. It's connected to the windshield. Not doing that. Rear view mirror here. No sun visor over there as well. So just check this out. This is the cigarette lighter, and it comes out like this. There's enough cord to pull it past my head. I was gonna see if it could go to the back, but the back seat's clear back there, so I don't think that it would reach back there, but it's very interesting how far it will go. Never saw one this old. That's cool. This car does have a rear seat. This is called a dual cowl because it has two windshields essentially. And this is the door to get in there, but you have to fold this down, move this out of the way. This car's too close to get in there, so we're not going to do any of that, but I just wanted to show you creature comforts of the back seat. There is an armrest. These seats are nice leather seats. And that's how much foot space you would have. And this thing kind of just sits on top of you. So just check that out. Look at those massive pipes. How it comes off of the top instead of the bottom and runs out the back. Distributors in the front.
Yeah. And it's my father's work truck, and it has his, we were talking to Don.
The steering wheel shaft, look at that. Look how close that is. That's crazy. Also wanted to show you how you close these. It has these like little feet, but when you push it in, see how that presses it up against there and securely fastens it. Just pick up on these, and they got some tension, these two. So the hood is pretty light. Take a look at this flathead V8. Generator down inside there. It's a very interesting setup. It looks like the water pump's in front of it. And it looks like it's driven off of chain instead of belt.
On the positive side, different brand, Epic Car, 1927 through 1933 CCCA Classics. Different hood mascot, interesting spotlight situation. Against it, parts, it's always parts. Yes, you could make the parts, but just know it's an uphill battle on the parts front for this car. Even though this is a LaSalle, a junior make, these are expensive for open models. Very hard to come by. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. Two scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1928 Hupmobile or 1928 LaSalle, or 1928 Franklin. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario, 1928 Hudson, or 1928 LaSalle, or 1928 Auburn. Once again, going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel and send me a direct message. If you don't have Facebook and you'd still like to get a hold of me, send me a email at whatitslike@yahoo.com. All of it will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, toodaloo! Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together.